Nancy, I want to ask you, your victims' rights attorney. We have been, you and I, together on shows talking about the progress of the Me Too movement. What do you think this says about the status of the movement? And were you surprised at all by this verdict?
I was surprised by the verdict. I thought that the evidence did show the trafficking. I agree on RICO and hardly would argue with a criminal defense lawyer because that's not what I do. But I did watch very closely on the trafficking. I saw coercion, beatings, some one on video, witnesses who said she was beaten when she wouldn't participate in sex acts that she said were degrading, the use of drugs. Extortion is coercion. Extortion, I'm going to show videos of you having sex. The mother being involved and extorted, the threats, the financial threats of retaliation. And I believe that he threw a Molotov cocktail on Cassie Ventura's boyfriend's car. So that to me is coercion. In the 80s, we saw the development of the theory of domestic abuse and the battered women syndrome. And I really believe that the two women who bravely testified in this case were in that syndrome. So what could be accepted as consent was not welcomeness. And there's a difference between welcomeness and consent. Even the United States Supreme Court recognizes that. I don't think that what was happening to these women was welcome, but I think that they were beaten down by a very controlling, very threatening, violent man with toxic masculinity and, certainly not normal sexual proclivities that I don't believe that they voluntarily wanted to participate in. They did it because they were in abusive relationships with him. And I think that the coercion was proven for the trafficking charge. But on the other hand, I'm sort of upset that the news is, he was acquitted, he lost. He was convicted of trafficking girlfriends for prostitution. Each carries a 10-year sentence. The judge can take into account all of the behavior and all of the evidence that took place in this trial, in the sentencing. He could have consecutive 10-year sentences, so he could spend 20 years in prison. I think a lot of victims out there are hurt and that the messaging may be hurting them more. He was convicted of 2 serious felonies. I think he also should have been convicted of trafficking because I think there was overwhelming evidence of coercion.